What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Daily Dose with Dylan Davis. I hope everyone had a great Memorial Day weekend. I am here with my man, Matt McGinty. Give him a follow on Twitter at Matt_McGinty. And we are streaming to you guys live through the Painted Lines Network on their YouTube and Twitter accounts. And we're streaming to you guys live through DSM Media's Twitch account. So go give us a follow on Twitch at DSM Media and subscribe to DSM Media on YouTube at DSM Media as well. Gint, how was your Memorial Day weekend?
It's good, man. Spent some time on the shore in the rain.
Yeah.
Down in the rain. Saw a win on Saturday. Unfortunately, we lost the series yesterday, which sucks. So the season's over. But, I mean, we'll get them next year, right?
You know, speaking of Memorial Day weekend, again, it's nice to see things go back to normal a little bit, right? It's nice to see a little normalcy back in the world right now as, the country's starting to open, states are starting to open, Jersey opened on Friday. PA opened yesterday. Philly opened yesterday. And it's nice to, get back a little normalcy with this Philadelphia 76ers team where another loss is blamed upon Ben Simmons. So a lot of normalcy going on this weekend.
A game 4 up 3-0, and the world is officially over.
If you didn't know, Doc Rivers should have pulled him and sat him because the hack-a-ben was going on. So he should have sat him until the 2-minute mark when they couldn't do it anymore. But we'll get into all of that throughout the course of this game. What went wrong last night? Joel Embiid injury, we're still awaiting an update on that. The closest thing I have to an update is that picture that girl posted. Someone said something about a dentist office, but I thought it was more of the MRI play. I don't know where the hell that picture was taken today, but he's only got a sleeve on that knee, not a brace. I'm just hoping, I'm praying that the big fella is okay going forward. But yeah, man, we're just going to break down last night's Sixers game. If you guys haven't already, just go check out. It was a pregame show, but DSM Media, we parked up at Xfinity Live in the parking lot, did a little pregame show, and then went in and watched the game. It was a good time. Talked to Matt Cord, the Sixers PA announcer, for a few minutes, got a picture of him. So it was a lot of fun there at Xfinity Live, and I highly recommend checking out one of the away games and live watch parties as the Sixers progress in the postseason. But again, let's just get right down to it, man. Let's start with 2-5 because that's where all the talk is. So why should we be any different? You know what I mean? Guys, you do know the Sixers lost last night for, more reasons than just a couple of missed free throws, correct? Look, let me start by saying this. I'm not going to come out here as some Ben apologist and act like the 6 missed free throws didn't matter. It didn't play any part of the game, blah, blah, blah. They did matter, and he doesn't go without blame. He doesn't go without fault, okay? They lost one of the finalists for MVP after 11 minutes of play, okay? The Washington Wizards don't stand a chance if Joel Embiid doesn't get injured yesterday, okay? So they lose Joel. Ben Simmons was also in foul trouble. That had more of an effect on this game than the free throw shooting did down the stretch, okay? Tobias Harris shot 8 of 24 last night. Seth Curry was 0 of 4 from deep. Shake Milton continues to be horrendous. Not only did you lose Joel Embiid at the center position, which he's the best center in the game, you got literally nothing. You got zilch, zero, nothing but negatives out of the backup center position when it comes to Dwight Howard, who I believe had 1 point on one made free throw and was a nightmare last night. And then Mike Scott plays 16 minutes and gives you a 0 in the points category as well. Again, so not only did you lose Joel Embiid, you got nothing from his replacements after his 11 minutes of play in last night's game. There's so much you can point your finger to as to why the Sixers lost last night's game. Guys, it doesn't always have to be, well, Ben Simmons didn't do this, so his shortcomings are the reason they lost. No, it's a part of it. But there's so much. And not to mention, you said at the start, the series is 3-1, guys. Like, it took Ben Simmons foul trouble, Embiid only playing 11 minutes, and a couple of other things to go wrong for the Washington Wizards to steal a home game that came down to the literal wire last night. Relax.
Yeah, I think the stat was the Sixers haven't swept a team since 1985. I'm pretty sure.
So it was around the 83 championship. It was somewhere around that time.
It's not a common thing to sweep opponents. Now, We had a shot to, and it kind of
Oh,
sucks
I
that
was
it didn't
talking
happen.
my shit yesterday. I had the broom down in Xfinity. I was
Yeah.
very outspoken about that sweep.
Yeah, no, I mean, it definitely sucks not doing it, but like you said, we're going to play a game tomorrow at max capacity in the stadium. The place is going to be going nuts, and I would hope the Sixers aren't a fan of the acts of the Washington Wizards yesterday, acting like they won the NBA Finals by stealing a home game. Um,
Yeah, man. I mean
it's an odd
that is
time
the
where
reason.
I actually do agree with Nadir. I'm not saying he's the
No,
whole
but
reason, but
time out.
Doc was
Can I
good
say
yesterday.
something? Can I say
Yeah.
something? I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Nadir's reasoning is because he didn't sit Ben Simmons when they were hacking him. I'm going to say that's why he's calling Doc the genius. And then Nadir, real quick, you're a Sixers fan, right? So if you're a Sixers fan as well, why are you saying you lost because of Doc the genius? So have you just been trolling us all this time? Like I thought you were a Sixers fan as well.
Yeah, no, but like Doc is going to be one of my problems. First, I'm definitely going to go with what you brought up, and that's Tobias Harris. Tobias was just flat out not good enough. Um, when Embiid goes down, the eyes kind of go to Tobias Harris in the half court to be a shot maker, even a play creator as well. And he gave us none of that yesterday. And then Ben getting in foul trouble, like you mentioned, that was more important than the missed free throws. Ben was a +4. I'm pretty sure it might have been a team high. I'm not 100% positive. I tried to get the box score for some reason, it's not coming up, but
I got you in a second.
I'm pretty sure he might have been a team high. And then the rest of the starters just weren't good. Seth Curry wasn't good yesterday. But I will say Doc pulling Maxey after his little stint and riding with Nadir's guy for Cork is, even though Cork had that good little spurt as well, so it was definitely a tough decision. But I would have kept Maxey in the game. It was right after he blocked Russell Westbrook. He pulled him.
So Doc didn't have a good game. I also missed one very important topic as to why the Sixers lost last night. And I said this after game one. So I'm not liking the trend in the opening series of this playoffs that I'm experiencing here. I have maybe never seen a worse officiated game than I watched last night, Ken. And I don't like to do that. I do not like doing that. They were awful, dude. From the calls to the 76ers to the non-calls against Washington to the common foul on Russell Westbrook. Dude, I watched Mike Scott get kicked out of a game 2 years ago for literally a tenth of what happened last night to Ben Simmons. You know, and it wasn't on purpose. It wasn't intentional, so that wouldn't be a flagrant 2. But a flagrant 1 is unintentional, unnecessary contact. He smacked him in his mouth when he was going up for a dunk. How is that not a flagrant 1 with all the other flagrant calls you've seen throughout the course of this year? And that was in a critical moment of the game. You know what I'm saying? And just real quick, Nadir, yeah, Ferk had a nice little spurt last night. We were going nuts at Xfinity Live when he hit the
missed a dagger 3 that would have gave us a 1 minute.
Yeah, how about maybe tell your boy to hit the cleanest, most open look the entire game had seen from the top of the key when he had all day to shoot it, and he hit front rim. He barely grazed the front of the rim.
Not only did he hit the front rim,
it led to the other way for a dunk. Yeah, right. Dunk. So tell but again, actually, I got the box score for you. This is something, dude. So you're correct. Ben was a +4, right? He was the only starter, you know, Embiid was a +2, but he was the only other starter that played that was a positive. Ferk was also a +4, but it wasn't a team high.
It was Mike Scott's +5.
The team high was Mike Scott at a +5. Dude.
I don't even get how that happened, but
yeah.
You know, Abe, there's no panic here at all.
No, there's no panic over here, brother.
Like we're gonna play tomorrow, and with the big fella or not, I think we win this game tomorrow by 15+ points. But I want to dive into another guy that we bring up often here, who played 7 minutes last night and was still a -4, and that's Shake Milton, man. I think it's time, and I talked about it last week,
dude. That leash is getting shorter and shorter, my friend, and it might be done.
I talked about it the other night, and I was like, I think he's going to play with him in this series, hoping he might be able to get a little hot hand going. And because he's been really good. We mentioned in the games he's good. He's really good. Sometimes he can get you 20+. He was playing good defense at a certain time in the season, but I don't think it's time. He is brutal, to say the least. Tyrese Maxey has deserved every minute of his, in my opinion. Maxey played 22 minutes last night, and Shake Milton only played 7. So I think that trend is coming. And dude, Dwight Howard is just getting abused by this center by committee thing Washington has going with. Dude, Robin Lopez.
If I had to watch that, dude, please end the series tomorrow night for the simple fact that I cannot watch that dumbass hook shot go through the bottom of the net one more time.
Oh, yeah, you obviously you weren't listening to the TNT broadcast.
Yeah, we were actually. That's what they had on in Xfinity. Surprisingly, I don't know why they had that on in Xfinity.
Reggie Miller was calling him Robin Lopez Jabbar, or Robin Abdul Lopez, or something.
Dude, Reggie Miller is brutal in the booth, dude.
Abe, I think I'm. I didn't even think of that, but I think I'm on that trend actually.
Yeah, man. Hold on, I just have to, and I know we're trying to get away from the Ben thing, but we do have to reel it back in. And when we get to the, because some people disagree with Doc's post game comments. They wanted him to take Ben out, blah blah blah. So, am I overreacting by being pissed at Ben? But I'm a huge fan. But he needs to be better. And the fact that he doesn't seem to care to work on his flaws makes me livid. Been going on too long. No, you're not overreacting by being pissed at the missed free throws because it's frustrating to watch. What I'll say is you can't say he doesn't care to work on his flaws. Ben Simmons probably shoots how many free throws a day again with Sam Cassell? Every single day since Sam Cassell has been on the Sixers coaching staff, Ben Simmons probably shoots 100 plus. I don't know how many free throws a game. Okay. He works on his craft. That doesn't always mean that it's going to get better. Now, before the All-Star break, he was at 67%, 68%, whatever it was. What?
I'm sorry. I just came across a tweet. Did you see NBC Washington's tweet?
Yeah. That there will finally be basketball in June in Washington.
They're going to play until June 2nd. My God, dude. I'm sorry. That was horrible.
Yeah, they are bad, dude.
Yeah.
But Nadir, we will miss you next year, buddy. And then Abe, yeah, I mean, I'm not a big conspiracy theory guy over here, but something just wasn't right with I get it, man. He doesn't shoot the threes and he does it every day in warm-ups. Don't get me wrong, he is a polarizing, confusing player to watch.
He's my favorite.
Yeah, sure. But I'm just talking about last night's sample size. The 6 missed free throws were a contributor to the loss. They were not the reason that Twitter and everywhere you look is talking about today, like it would seem it would be. It's seeming like Ben Simmons missed 6 free throws and the Sixers lost by 2. And if he just hits a few more, they win. No, they lost by 8. Okay. Embiid was out. Washington doesn't stand a chance. They got all that fake bravado, those fake, beer muscles, the fake strength when Embiid went down. Russ starts, snaring at the crowd, starts flexing. Bradley Beal goes back to talking a little shit. Rui Hachimura is flexing. That's another thing. Hold on. Let's stop acting like Rui Hachimura is going to come out and drop 20 plus again. Never, ever, ever again is that going to happen tomorrow night at the Wells Fargo Center. And, we're sitting here waiting on a Joel Embiid injury. No, I'm not comparing the two players whatsoever, but let's not act like them losing Davis Bertans does not hurt, because it does for them. And he's out for the rest of the season. So
I definitely agree with that. Also sucks to see a player get injured, but
also,
to mention another reason of loss, your 4 3-point shooters that are supposed to, probably you'd hope Danny Green, Seth Curry, and Tobias Harris shoot a combined 40%, went 4 of 17, I believe, last night, or some 4 of 20 or something horrible.
Yeah, Danny was 3 of 8. Seth was 0 for 4. Mike Scott somehow ended up chucking up 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah,
didn't come close.
There was a CVS receipt of reasons you lost this game, and to bring it up again, because Mark commented, he is right. But dude, how is Dwight getting killed by these guys?
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
I know the issue Mark has talked about all season with Dwight was just him playing alongside Ben and how it's treacherous to the team. And at first, we were all kind of kidding around, oh, it's not that big of a deal. And it's becoming for me, the problem is him just getting killed by bad players. Robin Lopez can't come in and just don't even know how this baby hook keeps going in, but it just keeps going in, and it seems like the
They have
whites
no
on
answer.
the end of it every time.
Dude, and that's another thing. Like that again with your CVS receipt of reasons and explanations why the Sixers lost last night. They got killed on the glass. They got killed on transition buckets. They got beat with points in the paint because Embiid wasn't there. They only shot like 42% from the field. They shot like 33% from three. They shot under 70% from the free throw line. It was a bad night. It was one of those nights, Ganton, where take the Embiid injury aside and the Ben foul trouble aside, it was one of those things that we talk about all the time with how could the Sixers possibly lose a game to Washington? Last night's the perfect example by not knocking down those shots, by Seth being 0 for 4 from deep. Danny hit 3 of them. But outside of that, you didn't really get anything from deep. George Hill was really good off the bench. Tyrese Maxey, if there's one thing I learned from last night, not even just the negative of Shake Milton, Tyrese Maxey's got stones, dude. That kid's got stones. The age factor, we were asked a question on DSM Media tailgate yesterday. One thing, it might have been Abe, I forget. If he's just hopeful that the age doesn't show. It's only round one. It's only the Washington Wizards. That kid played tight, meaningful playoff basketball down the stretch in the fourth quarter. Didn't shy away from the moment. Had the ball in his hands. Hit a couple big threes. Hit that one ridiculous buzzer beater three or whatever. Got to the rack. Stuffed Russ the one time after the 1-3 at the top of the key. That kid's got stones. He's not afraid of the moment. That's the one bright spot that I can take away from last night. Him and George Hill, even Tease. I don't know what he shot, but he had like 8 points in his run last night.
Yeah, he made a couple, but for some reason he was at -9. I don't really know.
It was a weird night, dude. I'm
pretty sure Bradley Beal had 0 points on 8 possessions against Matisse Thybulle last night or something. I read. So
and then the other thing, Russell Westbrook had this historic stat line. He was the only player in NBA history to put up that stat line in the postseason. He shot 3 of 19.
Yeah, it was
dude.
I cannot believe
he shoot 3 of 19 and flex on national television ever again. Ever again. 3 of 19?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. My main takeaway is this: there's nothing to take away from last night.
Yeah.
There's not if you have any besides the little tidbits within we're talking about Maxey being a positive, Shake continuing struggling. Those are little things. But if you're looking at this hindsight, Toby, yeah, we're blaming Toby, right? That's not a knock on Toby going forward. We're blaming Ben for the free throws. That's not a knock on Ben going forward. Joel got hurt. That doesn't happen if Joel's playing, right? So if you take anything away from this game, being scared or, oh my God, they lost to the Washington Wizards, how could they do that? Like you said earlier, dude, it's not that easy to sweep a team. And when you have the fouls going the way they were last night, like Abe's talking about, and you just the way it played out just wasn't going to go their way last night. And I hate to say this, but we were sitting in our group last night at Xfinity, and even within the third quarter, I think we were only down by 4 or 5, and it was just they're not going to win this game. And then they came back and it was tied down the stretch, and we were all into, but it just never felt like in the second half that the Sixers were going to hold on.
When Tyrese hit the 3, I was like, all right, I think they're going to win this game. That was the turning point for me. But then I'm pretty sure, I think that was when I think Gafford had that putback slam. It was a monster slam. He was screaming like he was DeAndre Jordan in his prime. But like you said, it's something to move on from. I will ask you this, though. Let's say Joel doesn't play tomorrow. How do you think they go about this?
I think Doc's not going to shy away from what he's been doing against the Wizards. I think you're going to see Dwight Howard. I think you're going to see Mike Scott start. And we're going to be ripping our hair out. Regardless, I agree with what you said earlier. This team definitely is a different team without Joel Embiid, obviously.
Yeah, dude, that was another thing. I got a text last night when Embiid was out, and it was, man, this team doesn't look very good without Joel Embiid. I was like,
who texted you that? You don't want to drop a name, don't you? But
no,
do I know him?
No, he did go to school, but I don't think you know him. He went to school with us. But
hold on, I just have something to say. Duh.
Yeah.
What do you mean they don't? What do you mean? He's an MVP finalist. Obviously, they don't look the freaking same. And again, to throw it all together in a big pot here, Ben was also in foul trouble, missing a lot of time throughout the course of this game, right? So you're missing your two best players, and your third best player, your second best option offensively, shot like 8 of 24. Okay, no duh, they didn't look very good last night. It's not that hard to put together.
So you don't think there's any chance he plays Ben at the 5?
No, I would love it, but no.
So you think Mike Scott would start?
Yep. Because I think he thinks they can beat the Sixers. I think he thinks they can beat Washington even without Joel Embiid and without having to, change strategically that way.
We've done a lot for Mike Scott, truthfully. Mike Scott should be out of the NBA currently. And I know I was on that trolley train where I was like, justice for Mike Scott, but like, dude, knock a couple shots for us down. Like, knock a couple down. Like, holy smokes, because you can't, like, they're just going to leave him open. And it kind of eliminates Ben in the dunker spot entirely because of that. And that, like, Dwight Wayne with Ben in the dunker spot does nothing. But I said to you earlier, I was like, I think I would start Maxey or Thibault, one of the two. And the other one gets a bigger chunk of the minutes.
I'd probably start Tease because you would need his offense less in the starting. You know what I mean? Like you need that offense off the bench when it comes to Maxey or something like that. And Tease, you wouldn't need him he's probably like the fourth option in the starters or fifth option with the starters. I know you don't like his fit on the team. No, if you're talking about the trade, when we had previous discussions about Maxey going forward and him being offered in trades, and I just said, like, as a starting point guard, you have Ben Simmons. He's 24 years old. I was throwing Shake in there at the time because he was playing well. See ya. So no, I love Tyrese Maxey. I love his fit now because he can be a backup point guard. He could probably play off ball or it'll work. Okay. But I said it a couple minutes ago. Kid's got stones, dude, and he's not shying away from the moment. He looks like he's built for the damn moment. And he's producing. It's not even like he's just like being aggressive and he looks like he fits in. He's literally producing offensively and defensively in clutch minutes in a tight ball game in the postseason. But yeah, as far as dude, yeah.
I can't stand Raul Neto.
We're good, Teddy. How was your Memorial Day weekend?
Yeah, how are you, Teddy?
But Neto, yeah, dude, he hit that 1-3, and I was like, "Are you joking me, dude?"
I think that might have been right after Maxey hit his.
Yeah. But to get back to the point of Game 5, regardless if there's Embiid or no Embiid, the Washington Wizards probably shouldn't even take the trip down to Philadelphia because they're going to get smacked. If Embiid plays, they're losing by 45. If Embiid doesn't play, they're losing by like 18, 20. Okay, they're getting smacked tomorrow night at the Wells Fargo Center, and I can't wait for it. Again, what else can you really talk about from last night?
Like you said, there's just
all right. Let's talk about the Hack of Ben thing for a second, right? So I know we both agree on this, but I want to get some of the commenters' point of views on this. What do you guys think that Doc should have done or should do going forward if Washington tries to deploy this Hack of Ben thing down the stretch? Obviously, they can't do it in the final 2 minutes of the game, but I know what Gint's stance is, and mine is, no, you don't take him off the floor.
You can't take him off the floor, and you can't. Like, he just has to go up there and knock him down. And at 50%,
if you take him off the floor, you're banking on two things, right? That he's going to miss, and then you're banking that Washington's automatically going to score on the other end. That's what you're banking on, essentially, right? So all it takes is for him to go up there and knock 2 in a row down. That's it. Then that shit stops. If he knocks 2 in a row down, then if he goes 3 for 4, that shit stops, man. And not to mention, like, here's the other thing. If you're a Ben hater, if no, you don't. Like, I asked for your opinion, so that is your opinion, and I respect it, but I respectfully disagree.
Right.
No, you don't take him out. If you are a Ben supporter or a Ben hater, it doesn't really matter. Again, you can't, how me and you say, or how a lot of people say, well, he doesn't shoot, but he does this, and that very well, right? So you're just going to take this, and that off the floor in crunch time from one of your all-stars? No.
You can't. And we've seen this, we've seen teams do this. Like, they do this to Giannis. Giannis doesn't get taken off the floor. They did it to Shaquille O'Neal, and I understand Shaquille O'Neal is an all-time NBA great, but you don't take them off the floor because of this.
No,
it can't happen.
No, and then not just that. Then so I say how you're banking on him missing and you're banking on Washington scoring. Then you're also banking on the fact that if you take him out and they don't foul you now because Ben's not in the game, that you're going to score. Yeah. You're banking on all these things to happen.
You're eliminating your best playmaker.
Right. And then what? So you're going to take Ben off the floor. You're going to take Ben off the floor, right? Tease isn't giving you anything offensively. So if he's out there just for defense, if he's not out there, who's guarding George Hill? No, but most teams, listen, okay, this is another thing I need to throw out here real quick. And for anyone that thinks this is going to, like, Washington just figured out, like, this big mystery of what to do against the Sixers in a close game, the only reason the Wizards are doing this is because they're not good enough to beat the Sixers. So they got to do anything they can to scratch and claw their way to a victory. The Hawks, I don't know if the Hawks are doing. You get to Brooklyn, you get to Milwaukee, you get to the finals, whoever's out west, they're not hacking Ben. Dude, because they don't need. This is the Wizards' way of trying. They saw that they could win a game, and this is what they tried to do. I also have a stat for you guys. Again, I think I shared this with you before the show, right? I didn't say it. I didn't say it before, right, on the show.
I don't think so.
Well, here when it gets to the hack a Ben thing, since everyone's up in arms about his free throw shooting, leading up to the 2-minute mark, meaning when they can't hack him anymore, Ben was fouled 4 times. He went 4 for 8, so he knocked 1 of 2 down every time, okay? The Wizards were a +2 over those possessions. So they only got a 2-point advantage with the 2-minute mark coming up. The Sixers gave up 12 points in the final 2 minutes. That's where the focus should be on. Not the fact that Washington gained a 2-point advantage because they hacked Ben Simmons for 4 possessions in a row. Also, this is a great tweet by Ben Dietrich. Sixers fans are pissing their pants about a guy going 4 of 8 on the free throws in the fourth quarter of a game where the team shot 41.7% from the floor and 31.6% from 3. Okay, so you guys can all bitch and moan and complain about the 4 missed free throws in crunch time, or you can say, oh, maybe if Seth hit that open 3, maybe if your boy Ferk Nadir hit the most open look anyone is going to see in the entire NBA playoffs from the top of the key and not hardly skim the front of the rim. Maybe if a bunch of things happen. Maybe if Tobias Harris shoots 12 of 24, maybe if he shoots 11 of 24, the game's different, right? But no, you guys are going to take those free throws because it's the agenda, it's the narrative, it's what he doesn't do well. And oh my God, because they were quiet the other day, right? When he was 22, 8, and 9, they had nothing to say, right? But now that they lost the game and that they could point their finger to that, he missed 4 free throws. He went 4 of 8 down the line. That's why the Sixers lost. Come on, man. Be better.
We're reaching.
The fact that it's the only thing being talked about today is mind-numbing to me. People are less worried about Joel Embiid. They're more worried about Ben Simmons missing a couple free throws in one loss than they are about Joel Embiid's health. And maybe that's because there shouldn't be anything to worry about with Joel Embiid, and I hope so. But it's mind-numbing to me, dude.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think we all saw this coming, and I do agree with on the Hunt's point there. I mean, I agree to a sense. That's not the reason they lost the game. They still had a shot to win the game, essentially. I mean, you think about it. If Ferk drills that 3, they're up 1. I don't know how much exact time was left, but that was literally a 5-point swing. You could have got 3 points. Instead, you gave up 2 points on a wide-open dunk. So that was definitely a game-turning play, not, like you said, going 50% from the line.
To be fair, they complained when we won, but he only scored 6. It's the truth, man. But my point is, they're extremely quiet when he performs, and when he does it, or when he has a little shortcoming in his game, and the
night when he played the fourth quarter and had 22, 9, and 8, there wasn't a peep. There wasn't a word. It was silent library. It's what they call it.
Game 3 when he didn't have to play the fourth quarter. You didn't hear shit. Like I said, dude, I just gave you guys 9,000 different reasons why the Sixers lost that game. Tobias Harris, put it this way. Tobias Harris didn't play lights out. Furkan Korkmaz didn't hit that 3. Seth Curry didn't shoot 50% from 3. The refs weren't atrocious.
Shot 0.
Right. The refs weren't atrocious, and Ben Simmons missed those free throws, and the Sixers lost by 3 points, right? That didn't happen. Okay? So is it a factor as to why they lost? Yes. Any miss and any mistake contributes to a loss. But come on. And to go back to this comment, I agree slightly, but there was a comment up ahead about when they took someone thought they were going to lose when they took Maxey and Furk out. And what I want to say is this. Yeah, they came in and they gave a spark and they were great. And Maxey, I might have left in, right? You don't leave Furkan Korkmaz in the game. He gave you 7 points. He had a steal, whatever. He gave you a nice spark, right?
Well, Furk closed the game.
Yeah, but he came out for a second and then he came back in. It was weird. Because I don't think Seth and Danny closed the game. I don't know. Very weird.
No, Seth, Danny, Furk, Tobias, and Ben closed the game. And
right.
It was the run. And they were on a run, and I think they were bringing Ben back in the game, and he pulled Maxey instead of Furk.
Right. And then we all know that 3 barely hit the front of the rim, but that's a different story. And then just real quick, let's get your thoughts and everyone's thoughts on the Joel Embiid injury. Like you were nervous a couple hours ago, my dude. So how are you feeling now?
I texted you guys on my lunch break, and I was like, dude, I have a really bad feeling about this. But I mean, dude, it sucks that it happened. You would like to close someone out. Now, if it's not something bad, then whatever. But I just had this horrible feeling. But it's just me being pessimistic as I am. So I'm sure he's okay. The picture went out a little bit ago. He was standing. He just had like a sleeve on his knee. He looked all right. When we heard that it was right knee soreness, I was like, right knee soreness? What the heck? But
that's the most confusing part. Now, I did see that video that I sent to you where, you can kind of see how he lands on his foot first and his knee buckles a little bit before he hit his ass and his hip on the ground. But like he was bending over, like grabbing at his lower back and his hip. And I'm like that's what everyone thought the injury was. And then he came out and then he stayed in after the timeout. And then he looked good. He looked really good. And then he comes out and he walked back down the tunnel. It's like, okay, what's going on? Then he's still not back out. And I said it to you earlier, right? If it is just cautionary, why didn't he come back out to his teammates on the bench, right? Why the MRI? If it's just cautionary, like if nothing's wrong and they held him out for the only reason he didn't come back is because they wanted to be cautious. Why is the MRI scheduled for the next morning? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, again, okay, well, those are precautionary matters. The MRI is just, but then that's not why you didn't bring him back in. You didn't bring him back in because you were just being cautious. You brought him back in because there could possibly be something wrong, and then MRI is going to tell that or not.
Yeah, it is really.
I've never seen anything with more secrecy, dude. How has there not been a word? There was no update last night. There has been no update today except for that picture. Who, by the way, let's hope that picture was taken today. Like, we're just taking that for what it is. Like, let's hope that picture was actually taken today.
If she put that out, not today, that would be the biggest troll job of 2021.
Well, the picture posted today.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying if it wasn't taken today, and it was taken before, whatever.
Yeah. And yeah, man, I don't know why he tried to go up so aggressively, dude. I don't know why he went for that play like the way he did. It hurts sometimes, and then this is what happens.
Lopez has been on the stem of everyone getting minorly injured.
Stepped on Toby's ankle when he got hurt the other night. But regardless, man, I think that they spanked the Washington Wizards. Obviously, we're going to need Joel Embiid to be okay, not just for Game 5 or Game 6 whenever he plays, but going forward, clearly. Again, let me ask you this, because there are some people out there with this mindset, like, if he's okay, but they want to be cautious, would you play him in game? Like, some people are saying, like, would you be mad if they didn't play him in Game 5 at home because they think they can still beat Washington without him, just to rest them up and be cautious more? And then, you move on. Or do you bury them? Because that was my thing with last night, right? Like, okay, let's say you are just being cautious. But why not? If it was just being cautious, why not just have the mindset of, let's take them out, right? Let's end them now. And then he gets extra days rest the rest of this week or whatever.
I don't know what I'd do. Thank God I don't have to make that decision. I'd probably still sit him. If there is something lingering and it could be an issue, I'd probably sit him. I mean, worst comes to worst, he plays a Game 6. And if it still lingers, worst comes to worst, he plays a Game 7.
If this series gets to Game 7, I'm out, bro.
I think we're going to win tomorrow with or without Joel Embiid, which is another reason why I'd probably sit him. But I mean, it all depends on the severity. We don't
Yeah.
know. No one knows. I
Yeah.
don't even.
No
Hopefully
one
they
knows
know.
anything.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they know by now. So
And then that's the other tricky thing with this whole thing. Before we wrap up here, is what left knee soreness doesn't equate to MRI following day. You get what I'm saying here? Left knee injury, left knee contusion, left knee something, left knee soreness. That's like saying, oh, because it's the same knee that he hurt in Washington before, right? Okay, so then you're alluding to the fact that it's just sore because it's a previous injury and we want to be cautious. But then he's getting an MRI on it tomorrow, so I have no idea. Quick,
literally
praying that he is okay. Again, we'll iron out the details if we're going to be going live tomorrow before Game 5 or not. But if we're not, just in case, let's get your picks for tomorrow night. Do the Sixers? I mean, we've said it a couple times already, our thoughts, but do the Sixers close out the Washington Wizards at home tomorrow?
Yeah, absolutely. Full crowd, 22,000 people, right?
It's like 20,000, I think.
20,000. Yeah, I think they close them out. I think Tobias Harris has a huge game tomorrow. I mean, dude, it wasn't like he was taking. Actually, he did go on like that 3-minute stint where he
got blocked 18 times in a row. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, I was gonna say it sounded like he wasn't taking bad shots, but it kind of was. Seth Curry's not gonna go for 4 from 3 at home. Danny Green's not gonna go 3 of 8. Tobias Harris isn't gonna go 1 of 5. Hopefully, Shake's done and Tyrese will play about 25 minutes, and we'll shut the door and we'll move on to probably Atlanta, right?
Yeah, that game's on tomorrow as well. Going back to Abe's conspiracy theory, maybe they just wanted both of these series wrap up on the same night, everyone, and then start fresh or whatever. But we'll definitely see. I agree. I think business gets taken care of tomorrow. I think that Washington finally got their game to steal everything, just like in Game 1, when Embiid got into foul trouble and all these things were going the wrong way. Washington couldn't pull it out last night. Embiid hurt, Simmons foul trouble, everything like that goes their way. And they finally squeak one out at home, and the door gets slammed in their face tomorrow night in front of a full capacity Wells Fargo Center. I agree. I think Tobias Harris has a huge game tomorrow night, and I'll say the same thing. I think Ben Simmons has a huge game tomorrow night.
Ben's going 7 for 10 from the line.
Yeah, I think he responds. He responds how he did after Game 1 when everyone was bitching and complaining. And I think him stepping up to the podium last night to answer questions was also a good sign too, like not just refusing to talk to the media after a poor one. All that was going to come out. But yeah, I think they win. And what else? The only key to the game I can give you is this, because like I said, I think they win without the big fellow or with them. Right? Is the fact that obviously you have to hit perimeter jump shots. Seth Curry can't go 0 for 4. Like the role players need to hit their shots. Tobias Harris needs to shoot better. Right? That's step 1. Step 2 is what we keep saying, what you can't do with lesser competition. And this team that has little to no life, you can't give them life. And when you allow them to stick around, and, again, did the Sixers allow them, or did the injury and foul trouble and the calls all go into it, whatever. But Washington continued to get stronger and stronger and get confidence. And, damn, like we can win this thing. Right. And, so step on their throat early from the opening jump and don't take your foot off until the clock hits 0. And that's a wrap, dude. But I can't wait to see this full capacity crowd, hear this full capacity crowd tomorrow night. And yeah, Washington did put out that there will be basketball in Washington in June. Well, June 2nd around 9:15, 9:30 is as far into June as the Washington Wizards are getting. For myself, you can give me a follow on Twitter at DylanJD98. My man Gint, give him a follow at Matt_McGinty. And guys, please go check us out at DSM Media on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. Check us out on Twitch at DSM Media, and give us a follow on TikTok as well, where we'll be clipping a lot of stuff and posting a lot of cool content there from our shows as well. And give my man Scotty, who's also a part of DSM Media, one of the founders, at Scotty Drowned. Have a good night and go Sixers.